Okay, guys, the Apple event is over, and I do have some notes here. The new iPhone was revealed. So let's talk about it for a second. And again, I still got my full throttle here. Okay, so let's talk about some of the stuff that happened. When I started this broadcast earlier this morning, it went without a hitch. But what happened was, as soon as the live broadcast started, uh, unfortunately, Chrome could not broadcast the event live. I had to go through Microsoft Edge to get the live broadcast, and that didn't want to work with Google Plus. So unfortunately, that didn't work either. So what I had to do was I had to stream this live from my camera, from my to my TV to the camera in order to get the live events. So I apologize to my fans that I even downloaded Safari, and for some strange reason, Safari didn't even want to work. So again, guys, I apologize. And then when the event was going on, it had audio problems. So that was not my fault. The whole thing is being uploaded right now to my channel. So let's talk about some of the things that Apple revealed today. Listen, I wasn't too impressed about the keynote address today. Some of the stuff I was excited about was the Apple Watch, but I mean that was pretty quick. They talked about the new operating system with the Apple Watch. I mean, so the next thing they talked about was the Apple TV. Man, they spent a long time talking about the Apple TV. I mean, yes, all this stuff we already knew already, but some of the things they talked about the Apple TV was, you can play games. They got a new remote to it and stuff like that. Listen, it's the same thing as the old Apple TV. The only thing differently, guys, is that they do have some of the newer things, like you can play games. They have multiplayer mode where you can play with an iPhone and iPod Touch. I think it's like the third or fourth generation. So that was one of the things that they did talk about. Now, they did release and they did talk about the iPad Pro. Okay, now this was the one that we were all waiting on, basically, because we already knew about the iPhones already. We was only talk was wanted to find out about the iPad Pro. Now the only thing the iPad Pro is it has an A9X processor in it. Okay, it's a 12-inch iPad. Basically, it's a 12-inch iPad. Um, it's nothing new that we didn't saw. So then they talked about it's a fast processor and stuff like that to do split screen and stuff like that. So yeah, it did talk about some of those things. So yeah, we it was, it's a lot of things that it did talk about, but for the most part, I didn't see anything groundbreaking today. Um, you know, I know it talked about you know the new iPhones, and that's what a lot of people really was asking me about, was the new iPhones. Um, and so some of the new things that the new iPhone bought is you know the rose gold version of the iPhone. Um, it bought some of the other stuff. Listen, it bought the what they call 3D touch, which you can touch the screen a little harder and you get some new things that happen. It does have the A9 processor. They claiming that this phone is 70% faster than the old iPhone. Excuse me. Also, they talked about that the GPU is 90% faster, 90% faster GPU than the iPhone 6 and the 6S. So, and then they talked about that Touch ID is going to be 2 times faster. They also talked about the 12 megapixel camera. Okay, so yeah, and so let's talk about that for a second. Okay, it had uh, it said better Touch ID. Now they saying that it's 90% faster GPU speed, and they showed off some demos about a game that was played and stuff like that. And they talked about a 12 megapixel camera, guys, because you have to remember that the iPhone had an 8 megapixel camera, so it moved it up to a 12. Okay, so now it shoots 4K video, which that's not nothing new. Basically, all Android phones do 4K. Now it has a 5 megapixel camera in the front. The 5 megapixel camera in the front, guys, is you know, it's basically the same megapixel camera that they have already. What they did was they using the screen to give you a flash. So it's a new chip that's inside that uses the screen to give you a flash. They call it Retina Flash. Okay. And also, if you have a HTC M8, M9, you might be used to this. It has what's called live photos. So what that does is it take a second before, a couple of seconds before, and a couple of seconds after you take the photo. But that's nothing new. We had that in the HTC M9. So that's a pretty good feature for the iPhone. Also, they talked about the sturdiness of the new aluminum. They got what's called a 7000 series of the aluminum, which is supposed to be stronger and tougher than the previous iPhone, which is the iPhone 6 and 6S. Okay, now if you follow the Bendgate stuff, Bendgate was a big thing, but now Apple claimed to solve that, and also they said that the glass up front is definitely stronger. Okay, so that's all fine and dandy, and but here's what they didn't talk about. This is some of the things that, if you watch my videos, I say worth it or wait. And I say that the iPhone 6 Plus is a keeper. It's weight. I mean, it's worth it. And the reason why is because Apple haven't came out with nothing new here. The battery life. Listen, the iPhone 6 battery life, they haven't fixed that. Okay. Yes, they came out with all these new features, but they haven't fixed the battery life. Okay. And here's the thing. They have not fixed the storage. My goodness, you're going to have 4K. And with 4K, you're only going to have a 16 gigabyte iPhone. That's kind of not good. So, they talked about that, and they didn't talk about that, and so I'm going to talk about it, real quick. Let's see here. Let me do a screenshot. Let's go back here, kind of get you guys in here and show you some of the things right here. Okay. So yes, it is. They did show some of the things. They got new cases, new covers, and stuff like that, and but they did not fix the battery life in the iPhone 6. And if you're an iPhone 6 user, this is definitely a disappointment, because if you rely on your phone, and as bad as the battery life is on the iPhone, you already know that Apple was supposed to fix this. Okay, and they didn't. and 16 gigabytes of storage, guys. Listen, I don't see any phone right now. All the newer phones, Samsung phones and stuff like that, they have definitely more storage. 32 gigs is the norm. I mean, with 4K video, listen, you as soon as you do anything with 4K, you're going to fill your phone up. So the 16 gig option is to me is just not an option. Either you got to go 64 or 128, which gonna cost you more money. And I think Apple dropped the ball on that. So the pre-orders is September 12th, which I'm a tech reviewer and I'm going to pre-order it so I can have it for you guys so I can review it. And the release date is September 25th. Okay, which probably gonna be sold out. You ain't gonna be able to get it. Now to get iOS 9 on your current iPhone, it's gonna be September 16th. Okay, for the upgrade. But other than that, guys, the keynote address was very long. I mean, they talked about the Apple TV, and again, let's recap. They talked about some new bands with the Apple Watch. They talked about the Apple TV. I mean, the Apple TV went on, that version went on for a very long time. Okay. They talked about how they could take your Apple TV and convert it into something different. I mean, it's just one of those things that you if you're an Apple fan, today was an okay day. I mean, it's not nothing groundbreaking. If you have an iPhone 6, iPhone 6 Plus, today you could breathe a little easier. That is something that's not new. Yes, they do have a rose gold iPhone. It look a little pink. To me, it look pink. But for the most part, they do have the rose gold iPhone. But for the most part, the iPad Pro, to me, in my opinion, is a disappointment because they're going to charge you $799. Look, let me tell you. Listen, $799 for a 32 gig iPad. And they call it an iPad Pro. Listen, I know I'm ranting. I like Apple. And I know Apple is a good innovative company. But for $799 for an iPad, 32 gig iPad, yes, it has a faster processor, but it's running iOS. Now, it's not running a full operating system. It's running a mobile operating system, just like your regular iPad. Yes, it's going to have more features on there. Yes, and I know I'm ranting, but I'm a little disappointed because I expect more from the iPad Pro. And we're going to talk about this when I get my hands on it, and I'm going to review it, and I'm going to order it when it's ready to be ordered, and I'm going to tell you guys all about it. So let's see here. Okay, so iOS 9 is going to be available September 16th. So here's the thing about the iOS 9, guys. If you got a 16 gig iPhone, you might have to delete some content, maybe delete some apps so you can download this iOS because you're going to need some space. Everybody that I talked to got a 16 gig iPhone is very, very disappointed, okay, because of the 16 gig iPhone. But, I've been I have the beta version of iOS 9, and it's a pretty good operating system. I mean, listen, it runs good. iPhone is an iPhone, but for the most part, that's it. So today, the event was pretty long, guys, and I appreciate. We did have audio problems, and that came straight from Apple. That was not on me with the audio problems, and also what happened with the live broadcast. Apple did not want you to stream this on Chrome. I could not stream this on Chrome. I had to stream this on Microsoft Edge. I had that's funny. And you know, they have Microsoft person come on stage and stuff like that, and you know, but for the most part, I sit there like, wow. I mean, I drink, you know, 2 energy drinks, and I was like, oh wow, you know, it was definitely a long keynote address. They really put a lot of emphasis in the Apple TV, which the Apple TV is nothing but this Apple TV enhanced. They do have some new features with it and stuff like that. But stay tuned. So, because all day today, I'm going to talk iPhone. I'm going to do a couple of more iPhone videos. Subscribe to my channel. This is Eric from Easy Computer Solutions. I appreciate y'all watching my content. You know, for y'all that watch my content today, bottoms up. I appreciate it. Subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up, because I work very hard to make sure that I get out this content for you guys. And we do have a lot of YouTubers out there that try their best to get this content out. And so, you know, this is all about iPhone 6s and 6s Plus. It was released today. Faster processors, better Touch ID, better camera, 4K video, but they didn't address some of the other issues. You know, the battery life. You know, if you're an iPhone user, you already know about this battery life, okay? So, you know, this, I'm not sure. But stay tuned to Easy Computer Solutions. I'm going to give you all the tea. I'm going to get all the phones. I'm going to get the iPad Pro. I'm going to get everything. I'm ordering them. I believe you can order iPad Pro this weekend. I'm getting online with Apple, and I'm about to order it so I can give you guys all the tea of what I think. Before watching the keynote address today, I was a little disappointed. So stay tuned to Easy Computer Solutions, guys. I know this is a live broadcast, but you know, let me know in the comments below, and let me know what you think. So see you on the next video. Peace from great land of the Superdome. See you on the next one.